Emambi ya rero nsimoni ya gatatu nende yo mwerio abasaba geni bane babiri bakunyara wekera na access student ngo batabinga mgeni njo mwenyezi apone mana atire na sokiruja na rero kleno kusocha buno mgeni nebo mutibwe Christmas yani mimi nakwambia baraka za Christmas jameni, you better look for a better connection batabiri geva sana najua Lucy maneno inampita this morning kwa sababu kidogo. Good morning, karibu sana hasa ni Kisi TV. Nataka nikufunze kikisi. Tukisema ningwa chete women good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Sasa rudia jina.
Ningwa chete. Ningwa chete. Yes.
Najua when they start teaching people the local language unaweza kwanza na matusi. Ile sasa hata I'm sure ni ile screen imedelete. Yeah, so ningwa chete it means I love you.
Yeah.
Unajua? So kudanganya.
Najua.
Alright, karibu sana this morning. I want us to share much, especially when it comes to femicide. I can see t-shirt yangu imeandikwa nini?
And femicide, say their names.
Okay.
Total shutdown. Yeah, in regards to today's work.
That is going to be our conversation this morning. Karibu sana, let me say hi. Stop killing women. Yes. That is what your shirt says. Good morning. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Aya, ntete umukwani murigerere mutebi na kyukorokwa asekwarwa na ninga kimwika leo.
Ndio. Mwancho murigerere samareta ngoro kwa mishiri yonge mandere. We want the executive director of Amshi International Peace Champions. Amshi International neke mbegera kora amangana igoro yobu giligwa kemnya watu human rights. Okora mangana peace building and at the same time nkosa mtore binyoro yindi kwa endeli uya uchumutwa. Kuri yale yabandi watu wachaga so kwa mangana 16 of activism. Mwana ni ina kitawa kwa topic wita abana basubati kusaba ngina and at the same time need kuri yale ko that mangana violence, domestic violence ngana bisikyenyo.
All right, thank you so much. Karibu tobeto kunyara gusanga asobwamo. Karibu sana. Msalimie mtazamaji, mwambie unaitwa nani, umetoka wapi, unafanya na nani na sababu ya kufika hapa siku ya leo.
Asante sana watazamaji. Kwa majina naitwa Lucy Onyango. Mimi ni mwanaharakati hapa Kisii, nafanya na shirika la End Femicide Kenya kama Kisii coordinator. Our main objective is to create awareness on femicide and human rights based activism. Tunatetea haki za binadamu bila kuchagua. Haki ya binadamu ni haki ya binadamu wote, na pia tunafanya kazi ya policy advocacy to strengthen policy to address this vice called femicide. Thank you so much and welcome.
Okay, thank you so much. The first time when I met this beautiful team, these amazing people here, it was on Friday. Kerebabu atege karabate everything. We can't just go mashinani go semi mwananchi without even having a meeting with journalists. Bakaandangeligari Joan kwamboka bakarangelia bali kigoro nyumba au chuburaria bakanyara ko tosomia igoro ya their agenda tukaligi solutions tukaligi ngabo kongobore tukanyara ko kwalire bintu au ntete mbere ni bakari tukuri ibyuma because they want to give you a glimpse of what we talked about before now we come to this conversation with Koriarero. There is a peaceful walk on end femicide from January. This is something that happened in January. Does it mean people they never had this voice? Why did this organization or these two organizations decide to come today when it is the end of the 16 days of activism to do this? That is part of the conversation this morning. I'm going to kuchanganya my language kuruweke usiru chege Swahili wekege songo and coming back because oyo mwito gaiga no mururoche munoyu badali siju kama liniletea fees
Smaki
nileta smaki we're going to talk about that but tatu anyara kutekera chinkwa ne chige bune bikale bya nyara tuko babiko nyara ngokoreka na buri tukuri ejuma
ase ayo mabasaba na habari tuachira se event ya rero tuangere gusomwa mange especially n'abana bari tobe part solution.
What is not happening?
Asaba baito ngalia femicide no goitwa kwa basubati ase enjere tatakeiri umuntu kanyaranga kero kende factors nyingi kwa yaranga umuntu itire mukungu oyoye gose ibintu related nebyo igomna into abana bari ase ritukolera rero to are very urged nga tutumie chi platform chetu buya tutebe abantu baito bamenye no morembe ende problem ya femicide usogo ito kwa basubati kunyara ko bakwera society yeito ya Kenya asegusi nabakwani bande batebire ne problem ya beire concern ya ngere ko grow at a fast rate to a regular abasubati mbale baraituro in the recent past ere como chikoranga ne problem which is growing. So together part of the solution as a shide ya ngere ko image a society ito mono muna bantu
asamaleta nkuru kwa misio yunge mandere igonde executive director ya Amshiri International Peace Champions igongwa kambi ya mono kuro sekiomegia and femicide Kenya so kororangamba netakire abantu bali bakolegas na media na civil society bayo bagosomigwa gusibago togatiguna kutwende kuba ku report cases shabe chiko basinga kiyabo bwangoiga ili nento kwa to report cases jiri tutalishwa gusoma itina cases chikoba igobana ngoteba nga masomo to yatokonyora lero ni galinga maya igalinga yogo to inyuria because reporting ngora turuputambe pa twakora reporting iliere ororo etali itoko guruma sikuru sabantu pati to betoko manyanga gentekeni yekena nakebe koleka nabo wana ngoteba nga buna mitore kwana litukulia Tuesday ndo etume next week turobe kane town tukwanira abantu bashikada bonse abana biasara tukwanira abangina tukwanira abana basubati tukwanira abagaka kegera mangana yekera koleka nabagaka maruba okora tali baroba wekorera nekera mangana yao koru nabakungu baka bagokoru gusaba nabasubati toba amo twanchane unibukuye koteba gasire korane koteba ili nto tokonyama mu society emo yanchaine yo monto ya mono tokamiri kale mbiyamono ngagete nganto yeto tokomenya ni society emo tobe to wanja na tobe to move chimotu sam biyamon to endrama.
Okay. Tuanze.
Begin.
We can do reporting that is gender sensitive, reporting that is ethical, so that we don't blame the victims, we don't expose the victims and the survivors to more harm, and we also protect the image of the victims. So we are here to call on everybody that femicide is a national crisis and it needs to be declared as a national crisis, because most of the women are dying every day and we need to find justice. And also we condemn the killing of women. We want to say with all forms, without fear, that killing of women is illegal in the constitution, because it basically means we are denying somebody a right to live. So we identify that the media has a key role to play in even ending femicide. We have the government, the religious leaders, and even the CSOs and the community at large. Let us change our perspective. The women of Kenya need to feel safe. Let us stop killing women and let us prioritize and protect the women in Kenya. Thank you. For sure, we have seen very many cases of femicide that has been happening, the reported and the non-reported cases, like recently in Kisii.
All right, that was a little bit of how the conversation was on Friday when we had a meeting with this team. Tokanyara gukwanira nene mono igoro ya okonyara gukora chisegi chegenka, especially ogoitwa kwa basubati. Welcome to the studio this morning. Shida ni ile amisi tu ndiye anaitikia. Lucia anashangaa wanaongea nini. Hatuwezi kusengelea anyway. Kuna kamera. But I need to be reminded unajua nimezoea sana kuzungumza Kisii kila siku.
Haina shida.
All right, karibu sana. Now, what is the main mission? What is the agenda of your organization? Wacha tuanze nayo.
This organization was formed way back in 2017. As we all know, in 2017 we had the most cases of women being killed, starting from the case of Sharon Obado in 2019. And that, I think, was the spike of this movement, because after that, Sharon Okoth, yeah. It's just that we associate to the perpetrator, but yes. Yeah. So since then, we decided to form an advocacy movement. We were running without funds. Actually, it was just well-wishers coming together to raise their voices in this case so that Sharon might find justice. So in the fight against the femicide, many organizations came together and we decided to form a movement. This movement basically is for addressing issues of femicide. And when we say femicide, we say intentional killing of women. So we are talking about somebody taking somebody's life, and according to the Bill of Rights, Chapter 4, that is against the Constitution. So that's when we decided to form this movement, and the movement is basically for advocacy and policy reforms. Because now when people are dying, we need to enact act of parliament. We need to put legislations. The government needs to protect Kenyans. So that's why the movement was formed to advocate and champion for the rights of women and violence that is meted against women. Then apart from that, we also do advocacy in the community. We have engaged different stakeholders. We do a multi-sectorial approach, the business, the transport sector, in the community, the chiefs, the police. We want this. We want the government to help us address this femicide issue. Because since January alone, several women have died in a day. According to UN Women, 11 women are killed
Daily.
11 women are killed daily. So imagine the reported cases and the non-reported cases, because we've heard of these stories. They are not really stories. They might look stories to you, but they are real. They are happening. Because every day we find dead bodies lying on the rivers. Every day we find dead bodies lying along the roads. Every day we find bodies lying in the dump sites. So where is the humanity, my people? Yeah.
All right, that is from your organization?
And Femicide Kenya. And Femicide Kenya.
Now, Amisi, tell us about your organization.
Activism International Peace Champions, kwanza ni ya charity common interest group. Awawa sa yetu wachitamu tukatoka amo tunyako kwa bintu work na wasomani. That was back 2005. From 2005 tukawa watu karanga apnaje kutwali kilometer register, tukaregister a youth group 2008. Ndio sekichia lengi sana kwa kata yake ndio shulika sana. Tuchukua mwana mmoja peace like topic peace. And then kero tua pushiko tukarawana ko wanta wangi bete GI youth lakini bono mbaro na ni baro members kwa teko cross ke bona SCBO it was just an SCBO back to 2002 but chia then na chini na tawo kora kende kyo sise ko la community without peace kenda ne ko bona mane kanisa ime ebe ngomo to chini ne kani akari sa squad ko sapanya sawa de metenga bono ga igana kile so mwana ne ko kora kama to kunya ro kora udari kunzama wani mkiona chitawo kora to ko beka into peace, human rights na mana governance. Pagka kontra mana climate action, kontra mana food system, kontra mana policy strengthening na rules ya teva, kontra mana public participation. Hani kwa sababu nichi department lingi chair county government, national government, alafu na other stakeholders. Ina kwa rangi kenyoro kia agenda ile. 1 getu aromalembe, 2 kero montane na justice ya 3 tuwe government nisukuru. Yes.
All right. Now, ikan tote takomanya these 16 days of activism tangu zilianza 25th of November. I remember mamangu balikuwa beto kunyara kwa very active na tukachangamka tukaambia watu 15 days of activism zinaanza. These are some of the topics zitapata kuzungumziwa, and I've tried to interact with guests from different NGOs, different CBOs, different leaders. Why are we still talking about 16 days of activism against GBV? Who has a right to beat someone? Who has a right to end someone's life? Who has a right to intimidate someone, be it a workplace, be it at home, be it in the streets? You know, who has a right to intimidate even people with disability? Because these are some of the topics that we are talking there. Let us share our success stories. Maybe so far, let me start with you, with your organization. So far, how has the journey been, and your participation also in the 16 days of activism this year?
All right. The 16 days of activism is a very important day that is marked in the calendar. It starts from 25th of November to 10th of December. So we were in Kisii. From the county commissioner, we held a peaceful walk around town to the stadium where we culminated the event and officially launched the event. So since then, our organization has been working tirelessly the 16 days. On the first 4 days of the week, we had 4 medical camps where we just reach out to people so that the elderly, the young, and the old so that they can come access GBV services, they access health services, because this thing is comprehensive. If I am not of good health, I might probably, if I'm HIV positive, I might face stigma, which is also violence because it is emotional violence. So we've done the medical camps for the first 4 days. After the medical camps, we had the health talks with the young people, because now you find that most of this violence is meted against the young people. It's because they are still in the storming stage, and most of them are still finding new paths to follow. So along the way, people meet violence either through relationships, people meet violence through family, through rape, defilement. This is an issue that has been talked about for quite some time. It's not that we are going to end it in the 16 days, but it's just raising awareness so that whoever is planning to perpetrate any form of violence against anybody, it's to know it is a crime and it is punishable by law, and also it's to raise awareness so that these people can know where to access certain services when violence happens to them. Again, during the 16 days, we engage our members of county assembly just to ensure that Kisii County has a GBV, sexual gender-based violence policy. As we are speaking right now, we don't have the policy in place, so our GBV work does not have a budget in the county. Our GBV work cannot be prosecuted because we don't have a law that is guiding the prosecutions. So we are calling upon also the county and the members of county assembly to help us to finish the process of legislation so that we can have the policy in place. It could be very well if at the end of today we could be launching the policy, but due to some hitches here and there, we have not been able to have the policy. And we also engaged media because we saw it wise that the media is a key stakeholder when it comes to matters advocacy and creating awareness in the community. Right now, people are watching all the televisions, they are seeing. We have a peaceful walk that has begun in Kisii town just to raise awareness on femicide. So the media is a key and important stakeholder, and even just calling us here to share, it means a lot because now the people who are not able to be here can now watch and see, like, this is what is really happening. Yeah.
All right, from my end, I can say since when I started hearing about 16 days of activism, 2 years now. Last year I was actively participating on the same, and this year I can say it is a step more with what that has been happening. That takes me to you, Amisi, the community. How so far have they been responding about the same? How the turnout of people when you are organizing events, pale mashinani, their reactions when you are talking about certain conversations, and that there are some topics that you feel, hii sasa wameanza kuelewa when we are talking about these 16 days of activism?
I think community reception iko vizuri. Kiagera ningi nyote tuwate longa Kenya wate Rusia tena ngama ndile bene ko kergituko. Waitu suko cha musongo waiga tikisi chichawe chiko ba ichibigangere chiere. Mwenye to muiso ndega mo sacha amana age to mungulisa sikero about ya capital. Kini ganda na dia chiete. Matranga tata yali ngo weto mu sacha amana ne no mo minondo no muswati onde alnya mataro. Erum no muswati kata ndo 3 days era kana go chara cha wekora. Insa meni kororo like 3 days ago mumura roro ana no de onis bagno kuni stare ya onga mukungoli kona ne mukole ke kosodi baje community ko mambia ero konyo ko mukole masi yo nyoto Nairobi oli ba tanda tia biambi omondo mo ite no mumura itonsa madaraja mata so many cases in chiro na ne dogonya ko bisanga nchiyo na ande kusianga te bintu ne biro rebi mo lakini ya community era grade ntebi either biera usida biera ndo some of the activities to na wana mshili. For example, kera to in Kisii county but kutambuka to other counties to the name to the program ko sasa gere to go to we start something. For example, to realize rumu kungo ngo itwara ko ba tabi atebe kera mwana mwana mtuni ngo changia mu msata ko bwana musacha itatari ko provide nyumba usumu kungu gago chachiza ibutuko ko sedegati ndete usukwanya musata kunyara kosoira bana sukuru ibindi ibenda kwenda bana yaba ya umkuru emotional ya Kisii no mwana domestic Oni nduni ibe community ko cham tumanya ngami sin ku kurwana bali na mukai na nje ne tra nyari ko kwana nere kusije ndo tsa kumuchira bela nyari okay so program ya group sasa iko to korora some of the things we go get sigi chama and then go for empowerment. After we empowerment we expect action more legit results. No kono kwa body losing an achievement to be talk for na beta is for these 16 days but one of us was 16 days no ta reflect back kurumwa ko kunwele bintuki kuliri tu akorto asherekea last year na bono pia changes very better. Lusi dapat yang tubuate kwende mainstreaming policy jana mainstreaming policy ya mshindia beto one of it yo kwenye draft ya kwenye draft one say stage ile CMCA la simply into sawa CMCA keko genda sipale baba kwenye kende bani kiagira kintu kiora kole sisi to what policies policies dichikadle no nyamwao ngo bangoli ngabana basanya nyumba saa 2 sandi baje bagende kanisa maroko batukurike ina benga nege umupangilio tayo nikegala bakora ya bakareka nto badalende na ada stakeholders na chabeli CCK chabeli VCT cross a pathway yani tupate contacts onyomondo kale kumachoro for example mwana well defined kusen Kenya nabo semesa bako nka yago chaka kurunga yago because community abanta bangi bali kubati process cha konyo rurali bi pakubota mai dimana kwa vile lazima mumuri nekitari kwa mnya kusi chief lakini the reality is mumuri nekitari abu ogenda police station ntobati bine ntobati kine kiasivo ntobati ya criminal but banda kwa hiyo utasema mumuri kumenya criminal kireki sivo kireki mukuna babo itumona mwana ngako ayanura ali mugako kwanda kwa police kwa mubwata ko irumu patekira ari kirumu wako na matakalo kwa buri cyane tamo usikosero ngori ko ira police kama deba askari ngabono ingora hata kama kwa sewi kiyoka akibono mwigole kera kya wana wako banga so akertere bidu bya bere tikatua manyanga ekileke nkirani kwira se chief wese kinengera ngera somo ga ine to konya mune kinyoro wese mune community tabe to ko bya tabe to ko banya bya nane boja misi ni chane na tukinya kwana na wewe boja you take over ndo ana na police we report usasa mwambiwe report kwa atoko na kila mmoja wa misi mabio kule uselusi ukule usajua ni kana daktari.
Now, you know, there is a certain story, I know it is in court, but I've been really happened last week, and I've been asking people, situation kama hii, how can it be solved? There is this family, hapa Tukisi, where the lady has been coming home drunk, and this time it happened, she disappeared for 4 days. The own mwanamke hajakuja kwa nyumba, and the husband sasa ametake responsibility among the children, amekuwa akiwapikia, and just a morning, asubuhi on Thursday morning, if I'm not wrong, on Thursday morning last week, mzee ameamka anaenda kitchen kupika chakula kabla ende kazi, only for one of the children kuja kumwambia mama amelala sitting room. You get? So the husband was so angry, like, unatoka wapi sahi 4 days kuja kwa nyumba, and the lady was still drunk. Toka huko nje, rudi mali ulitoka. You see how it can get violent and everything, and in the process the lady resisted. Sasa ile kumpiga kofi, the lady fell down and died. Now, where do we classify that? Is that gender-based violence? Is it femicide? Is it because there is a lot that is happening here. We are having children, we are having a husband who is emotionally abused, where I can bring in gender-based violence. Of course, right now we listen but we don't judge. But sasa hapa we are having a situation, and in the process the lady now has died. Na mpaka tungoje postmortem iseme labda alianguka, ama ni the hit alimgonga vibaya, ama aliangukia kitu, ama alikuwa amekunywa excess. You know, there is a lot that comes from that. But now here we have a society that is going to judge, and we are having NGOs and CPOs that are fighting against whatever that happened in that situation, and it has led to something that pia imekuwa ikikataliwa. What can you say about the same?
Ngosa bantera before usiamente. Jibi viniki. Noko ani kokora makoro kitako kecho mundu atakuwa tiribaga. Number 1, muswatu yakera chita kera na nyumba mugako of course na gajetiwo. But jibi iftada zo no wito mundu bosa. Na bego nyara kana ire emotional. Mugako awera uchanda ka nyumba busarenge na abana. Nege ndo jaja taka soka maybe go uchikonyino na maruari. Maybe kata konyora comfort samaru because maybe mugako mbali amo usimbai kwa nini. So to some extent mabuji bifbano utayani geso mucho ime. Kogenda kuirana okobona amo agitego sina mutumete kegero maidera bakina bako mamada gusekebe manslaughter to lakini ne effect nka ijaro timo kuswati bakagosira no mugako yo musukumete usumugako yo mwagete so bakekile ke as much as to what some conflicting ni to mana nkia bata upatonyo mwagete baada unaige to muswati usinagira to muswati abaraki musacha musupatu yako igendo nyina kwa advice yabantu sometimes to akora ibintu tore no gororo usture no bwango
yes
baadaye kama zikurirete hakiye
no etamu kunete
tutikono kwere yana tebinge igendo ne kigale kukanya bakwada basolve batonye barabo bere mba kunya go solve mangana nayo na babo bring upon hata some few friends osata some few family members kego sinyapinda bakana na next pastor ne chiro osachi imam ne garo muslim ose agende somo gambi ameke report because obugambo wete bo kolegento nabo gara to kolegento kia utatu kujya kurigireti baadaye so mungako ina apata so react so fast as much as muko ya was abetaka para is kama tuka Jones because ibindi ibyo ibindi byo kana se community ikine gento ya so igombiro byo kana ibindi kusiye to ga bati bitari koso abagaka ngo toli suguri bali ko kwa because kiko so ko chia like kuchikoroka abangi nango itubali batanga ko banje mugako nene mulisi abusengi tingo nyara ko kwa ne yachi kolete igiri ndikole kana bidendo nyakubisa ona gato biyenjira turana yato to mitigate at least bila na ense muna lusi ateba oseko nyara kana biere ile biere pito menya society ya monto na tuanje
na mimi ningependa kusema kwa hiyo unajua in the community that we live in now people have different underlying conditions unaweza piga mtu udhani hakuna kitu itafanyika in the process umempiga amekufa the blame itakuwa kwako and utakuwa umebaki ukifeel guilty you feel guilty about yourself that you murdered somebody but the problem will be wewe kwa akili yako you are very innocent ulidhani utamua so one of the things I like saying about GBV there is nothing that can justify violence. Whether huyu mtu amekukosea, there are other ways of solving conflict. Sisi kama the champions in the community, we've been holding positive masculinity sessions. These sessions are basically to tell our men how they can handle some situations. At some point you might feel offended, but we have alternative conflict resolutions that you can resolve to rather than beating somebody. Because now if people have different underlying conditions, you can beat somebody just out of anger and maybe you are not prepared even for anything that will come after and then the person dies. So we don't need to blame the victim, whether he was wrong, whether he was right. The thing is we don't have any reason to justify violence, either through fight, even killing somebody. So it is important for us to use other alternative conflict resolution methods.
Before to I want to advise abantu balisikali kwantegera. Mona bagaka. Kene ka inkiringa abantu ngo itutore batwakira. Usinko mjokana na twakira. To basikobera sinyomo ngoko bana abantu ligireti. To basikobera sinyomo ngoko batige community. Takulile community eligeli kwanza because I want to kuja kwa bia. Eligeli ngende comfortable n'umuntu otrenere. Ninde comfortable nasa because kulili abantu no kweza kutokweza kwa banganda so kaso kegana ganda ba congress. One kire bintu ni business community. Andi yanare kandenya sayo anchiringa moto in fact yusmikiro yoninga rati munyo moyo rati munyo munoyo to vera so kunya kwitu mole mere ngo kwa akitika ngo kiaba ako kiaba no kuna kumia
akia wana bagucha
ngabana bagucha ane kirenga no nyara komanya no muntu yomukwana mo wa ya animo biya menya somale anya to kunya kindly you can move out kagara isikana ngo nyo muntu mo ora nyama komanya ne abako nyo muntu mo ora nyamo kwanya ko wocha ko kumambi to jaka te angama ona nyando to mate iyo ya kisindara bana.
Okay. Yes. Now, another crisis that has been happening, despite despite Lucy, utateseka. Despite organizations and CPOs being present that have been really actively trying to educate the society on the 16 days of activism, and even not only on the 16 days of activism, I'm sure outside those days you guys have been still fighting the same. Kama nyinyi mmesema from 20 to 17, there are still some cases that are still ongoing. They are still happening despite you people talking to the society, despite you talking to the same people, and it seems like when you kuna mkakesho, the more the situation even gets worse. You know, we came from shooting them to stabbing them to kukatakata into pieces to disappearing body boiling to yani vitu zingine weird zina happen as time is going by. Let us talk about the success stories. We can't always be talking about the negative. Tunaona zina happen. What are some of the success stories mnaweza sema yenyewe ama breakthrough that your organizations zimekuwa zikiachieve tangu mwanze fighting this?
First of all, I would like to say, as End Femicide movement, we marched in January 27th. We had a big protest, nationwide protest, and it's because that time women were being killed. But since after the protest, the killing reduced, it does not necessarily mean it stopped, but it reduced. Then around July, August, we've also witnessed a high rise in these cases. So the thing is, when we marched in January, we had a lot of success stories in January, because it is this time that people started to realize that we are losing our women. It is at this time that the president at least recognized what is femicide, and people started having these conversations. If you ask people last year, they didn't know about femicide, but right now it is the jungle. People are talking about it. It's a big animal, and it's a talk everywhere in Kenya, because now when you see the number of women who are being killed every day, and we are not saying these women are dying out of natural circumstances, because the men are always, why the women every day? Why are you guys just fighting for women? But it's because women are dying, and we can't run away from that. The other day, the Deputy Inspector of General said 97 women were killed in 3 months. This alone, it raises an alarm, and the president, you saw the president spoke about femicide. This is a success to us, because we wanted the president to recognize femicide so that they can enhance, they can put legislations in the parliament, so that when people are doing this thing, they cannot go scot-free. They cannot, there is law, and the justice shall be served for the perpetrators of violence against women. So that is one of our success stories. Then we've been able to also assist survivors, support in terms of legal framework. We've also managed to support them in terms of the psychosocial support, because our organization offers psychosocial support to the femicide not victims, but because femicide victims are very rare because they die, but their family and close family, we offer psychosocial support. And also we offer legal counseling in major institutions. We offer legal counseling so that when these things happen, people can know what legal pathway they can take to get justice. Another success story is when we've managed, when the case of Seth Njeri happened, we followed the case to court through the process until judgment was done. That is a success story. Then Rebecca Cheptengei also, where the athlete who was burnt. Yeah, we followed the case closely, but unfortunately the perpetrator died also days after. So it was very difficult for us to get justice, but we've been able to form, even after the death of Rebecca, we formed the athletes circle, where because we realized athletes are suffering. They are really suffering, and this is one area that Kenya has not taken much consideration into looking at the athletes' health, because most of them face gender-based violence. There is economic violence among the athletic field. So we've been also to form reforms geared towards the athletic center, and we've managed to create awareness in all the counties, because femicide movement is in all the counties. We've been holding a meeting with the transport, border, police, legal reforms, the government, and not forgetting, we've worked with young people, we've worked with sex workers, we've worked with LGBTQ. We are not a discriminative movement, so we work with everybody, and this has really formed a step towards achieving our goal of recognizing femicide as femicide.
Now, Amisi, nikikumbuka, yani I just remember kuna jamaa alitoka Kiambu.
Yeah,
akanunua shoka mpaka Eldoret town. Na kuwekelea tu mtoto wenyewe.
Ivy Wangeshi.
6th year medicine care. Soma medicine care. Alafu mtoto wako anapigwa tu shoka in public. Alafu jamaa anasema kotini anasema, we were attacked with my girlfriend, we were walking on the street. In the name of, wait. And then I remember I'm raising a young beautiful girl into this society. Ake mimi ngumu isha. What are some of the success stories that you can tell us this morning? Because I think every parent out there who's having a daughter is scared right now. No, even every parent having a son is scared because you don't know if your son the following day utaambiwa aliua mtu. Imagine right now kujua your son ameua mtu. It is really disappointing and it is really scary in the society. What are some of the success stories that you can share this morning?
I think let me start by saying that success stories ni nyingi. But nikuja hapa kwa ground. Number one, vile Lucy alisema tumeitengeneza directory, pathway directory. Yenye tunaitumia hapa Kisii County. Ukikosewa kama uko Sukunana ama uko Marani, there is a directory inakuambia kuna namba ya OCS, kuna namba ya chief, kuna namba ya hospitali kwa karibu, so it's easier for you to access service. Naoneko randoms. Ya pili, we have been able to draft that gender mainstream policy as much as there are idea, but that is narrow no draft say simply. Number 4, kuzeka toa kwa these entry meetings usually at CSOs na government departments ya ikirao tayari kina kile yote ya GBF ikile priority work kina yonse kina ya GBF ikirikoti ni gari ngeli mabila tayo ngeli so strong even because of the sensitization toa kwa nige ndogera na ni mtu kana community kuna kukonda bali survivors at the same time wale batagete safe space. Safe space that is ngani nyumba soka na kwa bera nyo kwa nyoranga no tu arumundu muna kwane nere at least utoke, that's a safe space kana ngo seru nyenda so mtu kwa nere at least nyugo yake. We also do that, so we'll keep doing the sensitization na nige ndokende ngwata anga reporting chikuna comment. For me ekere abantu bako report ya bangi, it means singa owaso mwanto bekeri because ndo mai diwa yaki au nitumuro kubera nyumba, but yoko ya masomo ndoko na kwa community when the police stations even na very living abasata witu bachile baripoti abangina witu bachile baripoti ko walika le baraka baripoti because one culture wise musata ne romotu mongina ne bigoti ko sene enda wana eta 3 kwana kedinyosa, but right now na musata ko wazaru are mekwa na police agenda na tabange obindi ke because na china ito tunomo kungu, so that's also a success. Ni ndo jinga ndo chikandra ko kwatre na ngo chimoto Kisii ne nyaa kujina na community in general ngo kwa reki na kia hivi ikyo mura wetu achana one that legacy ikaje tikuru orara achana Eldoret ekare Eldoret akamenya ko legacy mende kina babaje ko team na kitoko taberanga hii legal education ndike twara ya bunge kara kwa hiyo kwa mnanga kai wege kina kara se kina kara bia ona akapanda ko team visual police ndo kwa man slota ndo kwa tena mada akamwata hanga mada na kara kwa rege ndo with an intention. For example na chama mbege tesi ndani mugo ngo beteli yogo ona wa intention ngo chana ke raka bachali suko taringa wono njeka na wete ko Nairobi ngacha mpaka Eldoret na wategezire watanga kwa wategezire isire kena gurde isire na gurde Eldoret iko meaning ina wata provoke ngamna kulege isire element ko mokosa akamokosa kuli ngara kumwalete wano kanibeke kava manslaughter ligati ya mada, but in the real sense mo oitiromo. So sometimes you talk about nevi na yanga na nakiro mwana kwa define this kenyoro kwa mnanga kineke kira kanga report tikatokire si police wesito tukira sikete ngowerebia ikobono tiga abantu ba elimu ya legal aid toto wa legal credits nyingi, elimu ya mangana public participation, elimu ya civic education omani right ya onelie omuntu na yakukuli limo suspect umuntu yenjira ndigirira korora gatumura na mosora na bego ko nyiri kwirina because security ego chaka na edra chaka mondobas.
Okay, but you see the same thing, because of that gap, we can say in law, the same situation happened last year. Well, what are we talking about? Kuna jamaa kutoka Kuria, Isebania, alikuja na kisu hadi Kisii town. Akafuata msichana pale kwa shule, the ex-girlfriend, na wameambiwa from nyumbani wameambiwa nyinyi ni relatives. Makosa imefanyika, mko na mtoto ndio, but please wacha ishi hapo mapema. So kukuja kaangalia, angalia mtoto ameenda college. Msichana siku hizi ni light skin, anaenda photoshoot, anaeka nails na jamaa mimi maisha. And the lady was like, okay, you want us to talk, let us talk on my friend's roof. So she thought it was safe. But hapo ndo jamaa tu alitoa kisu na akamstab, you know. So
abana ande John soko la kwane. In fact, cultural norms plus na ninja tu aleko warisi tu atrisi tu kale na bwana ngao. In fact kwende ya intra to kinu ya beta about ile kitambo umanye kwa mwana no moyo tugutakumika no na na kia kugera no nyende ri mwalimu muri wero gosomi kimoko ne guchese mipira gari by the way orro mwalimu kwa meto gotenena right now iso society asali ya bantu omwana onaliga kumwira madrasa ndasome usuiro omwana we Sabbath school ni goro mwezi die go Sunday school to kunyara kole yente ikyo orero mwana tablet wasoma esimi anya kole kusenda chikato ina kole
Kokomelo
kireza no ara ali ni video na kiandu baguitana baba yoko zuna na nani ebintu bibikuta kusoma tu abikuta wekinga kina tayo practice muntu ina kia charo kitakweti lakini era yo jikota yamo teme chino mchito wata chiakare tonya gosomya wanu tubaraba kegero mwana sumukaramo kibintu bigosoi obongo mono kugwekera kintu I think no norms culture of exposure empowerment ngede bichangete mono sin tuko kole bintu binde tawo kwada na great bada.
Now we are having a conversation. It is wrong, but the rise of femicide is alarming. You guys have decided that today, because it is the end of the 16 days of activism on the 10th of December, let us have a peaceful walk on the end femicide. What inspired you and how does it help towards the vision of your organization?
The work basically is to raise an alarm. We want to see the leaders act because we've been having conversations with them since January. That one I can tell you for sure. We've tried even to reach the Chief Justice. We've tried to reach the President. We have tried to reach the parliamentarians, but it seems we are alone in this journey. We are alone in this journey because now when these people are not open to talk to issues such as killing, and you know, like women are half of the population of the country, if we are going to continue killing, who will bear other children in this country? So the work is to call on people. It is a call to action. It is not only the leaders, we also need the religious people to speak because these perpetrators are in charge. We need these people to integrate teachings on how you can resolve to other dispute resolution measures in churches. We need to call on the leaders. First of all, right now as we are speaking, we don't have the CS gender. That is also a big gap that it's overlooked, but it's something that is very important for us. If people are being killed, we have women parliamentarians who are in parliament, but what are they saying about this killing? Because they are seeing it every day in the news. People have been chopped heads, people have been dropped in the dump sites, people have been dropped in rivers. What is the government doing? Recently you saw the president allocated 100 million to the government, that is the government offices. This is another money that is going to go to corruption. Because what are they going to do with this money? Yet they have been here, they are listening to the voice of the women, saying we are not safe, you need to protect us. Now they have been given 100 million. What have they done so far? Whom are they calling to the table so that they discuss what strategies are they going to use to end femicide? Because that money was specifically for ending femicide. What have they done? So it's basically to also call everybody to action, even the community. I think also the community has normalized violence. Like people just see, I can just kill you and go scot-free. Like nothing will happen. You see, people have just also normalized violence, and this is something that is cropped, especially since childhood. People have normalized watching violent movies, so when they grow up, they just know that it's violence. And also we have one big gap, the State Department of Gender. Where is it housed? It is housed in the Ministry of Public Service. Do you think that is the right ministry to handle women issues? Do you think that is the right ministry to handle even gender issues? Because now it is housed, because now it is not a separate entity, it's not a separate department. The State of Gender, the Department State of Gender should be housed in the Ministry of Public Service, Gender and Affirmative Action. That is when we shall know that even the women rep of Kisii County, yes, he is trying to tackle, every day he's always talking about GBV, but also we need the county to have a budgetary allocation, because now when the NGOs go, and you know funding is temporary, when the NGOs, we need to sit down and see the women dying in Kenya, and we can locally resource, mobilize and fund the anti-femicide campaigns. So it's a call to action. Today we are on the streets. It's a nationwide protest. We are calling upon everybody. It's a collective responsibility. That is our main aim of today, Two is to show solidarity with the women who have died. This year alone, we have over 1,000 women who have died. We are going to show solidarity for them, and we also speak because we don't want this thing to happen. If somebody is planning to kill somebody anytime soon, like, we just want to tell you it is wrong, and that is violation of human rights. So that's why we are on the streets today. We are marching, and we also want to paint the picture. Femicide is real. We want people to know this is femicide. We are just talking about femicide. We are talking about killing of women. Because recently you saw in the dump site, Kware dump site, 97 bodies of women, over 100 bodies of women were found mutilated. What is happening? Why are they mutilated? Yeah, because now you see they are also hiding the figures, and people were on the ground. Actually, one of our members was there excavating bodies from the dump site, and they said there are over 100, and they reported 10. So there is an urgent call. Maybe there is something that is happening that we don't know, because now most of these bodies are found mutilated. Where are they taking the private parts of women? And that's why we are talking about women, because we feel we are not safe, we are endangered. Like, we are an endangered species right now. And a matter of fact is that everybody is a candidate of femicide today. You can walk, going to town, you don't reach town. You're just abducted. The next morning we hear in the news, you are found dead somewhere in a river.
The children that were killed just early last month.
Yeah, in Isili, the Isili case.
But you know, one thing that I'm not saying that I'm proud that it happened, but kuno you nominated MC wa Kirinyaga that the daughter was killed.
Yeah.
Alitoka kwa nyumba akakuja kwa allegedly the boyfriend, then she was found dead pale Thika. And that was the time that I saw leaders really come out, especially women, and try to say that let us end femicide, let us end GBV. And I'm like, why are you waiting for it to happen
to one of their members?
But saying also that government imeachilia pesa ile kwa serikali. You remember when the end femicide walk happened in January in Nairobi, akina Esther Pasani walifukuzwa. They were like, munangoja tupange event yetu tunakuja hapa kusema end femicide. Where have you been? Hao wanawake wakiuawa, we've never seen you talk about the same. Alafu mtu sasa mpatwa pesa na serikali ameambiwa and advocate for end femicide.
And what have they done up to now? Because women are dying every day.
Talking to them and telling them, "Ati shati mmevadi mimi nimenunua, ati mmevadi mimi nimenunua." Now she has been given money to come and tell you to do the same.
I think where I'm seeing the problem, hata Lucy amezungumzia, some things government haichukuli kama ni priority. Priority zake ziko inverted. Sababu kuna watoto wetu wako ngambo, wale wachukulie gas Qatar kama Dubai. And then the government doesn't say anything because you might take care of and it's going to what the bilateral agreement to make unini security. And then serikali yombi wali bakoranga nsi ya kuna haja. Ogo tachiko yatachikuru ni chelo 200 million. Mko anda chili sireka tigaiga no priority. Bao chibeka tu check the content talk about wewe exposed to what either and to sasa bana baito hata music hata videos. Eso ngiaso kanga niko single na enjoy. Mimi ngote to konyomu ako imagine kumbe kwa single west tano yakale mama. Iende Nairobi. Huyu anani ben kuna masongo zingine kwa sana mapanga mapa. Ni songo zingine. Wana kala kwa tegera kwa.
Unakataa kwa demu yako.
Naenda kwa
tume normalize. Na wana wao kina kumbe kwa single mbia goito mondo is normal. So I think some priorities government which priorities ni target and it's high time. Anya tuwate policy chiwati na to prioritize amangana ya marembe amangana human rights kaya rights take over justice eta ya amangana justice at the same time to the networks the baswati wao because I can't advocate for human rights what advocate sabaswati na sabasati na kile ile women I think dola we men na other twins ya it's women na women
Okay, are there some actions that you would like to see them being taken, especially when we are ending the 16 days of activism? Maybe they may come to advocate from day 1, day 2, day 3. Now, tunataka tukimalize 16 days of activism, we are hoping that these actions will be taken.
Maybe I can start. First of all, as Kisii County, they can prioritize the policy because that is very important to us. And also we have cases in the judiciary. We want these cases cleared up. We said that we launched during the 16 days, and we were with the ODPP, and we told him that he should, during these 16 days, he should prioritize clearing files of GBV cases that are still lying on his desk. And up to now, we've only found one success story of a completed case. So this is very urgent, because now we want the judiciary also to take his part. Let the judiciary take his part, clear the cases that are in court. It could be a success during these 16 days if you only prioritize cases that deal with human rights issues. That is GBV that we are talking about. Also, we want to have a CS gender as a country. So that is also an action point. We also want the government to recognize femicide, and the parliamentarians to enact acts of parliament to protect the women in Kenya. Because now it's like we are just living in a society where we live with fear every day, and people, we need to feel safe. So it is important for us to have those laws and policies that will help to protect the women, and also to prioritize the lives of the Kenyans. Because you know, people, if we continue dying every day, who will be there to vote for you in 2027? Yeah, so we want the government to take action. We are also calling on the police, because now they've been on the spotlight now, you know, when matters during the anti-government protest and matters abduction. We want that abductions to stop, because now the police should also do their work, and the DCI to investigate these matters of femicide, because these victims, these perpetrators are still living amongst us. And we are not safe anymore. They will continue killing the women. So those are our priority areas. And also the State Department of Gender should not be housed in the Ministry of Public Service. Yeah.
All right. Well, from your end, are there any actions that you'd like to see taken?
I think even to living, but firstly, say county into safe space. We need a safe space. Kaya even the important na na stay on the back and go na nini. In the Kenya government, there is a prioritize peace, a prioritize some kind of femicide, we prioritize saving to be in the Biao, and name a Shara and in the Kenya, though, the Gabarai, because on a Kenya chief, you might keep making a nega defilement, Kirki, Nakiana, Ganga device you mondo, so that and that's our only. Kenya, the police, policy, it's very dear to us. The guy because to punya orang kena nyos nonya mau hanya tu buat guideline sih korang. So if we go korang at least intolerate. Alam na coordination between ODPP, judiciary, CSOs, clergy, toche community. Kalau korang macam error, please let us take those podiums, those places. Kosomnya wantu balik kita memanjangan. Korang kempo beda, korang kembi. I think by then tu nyawa tu okay game maybe because nyawa tu abis ini.
All right, because of time, because there is a walk there. About the walk, where it is going to start and where it is going to end, and the agenda for today. Maybe in conclusion, what is your vision for a future-free femicide and GBV society? Especially, it is something that everyone is fighting against, but I don't know. We forgot to talk about the challenges, but we're going to reschedule for the same. Yeah. What is your vision for the same?
We are looking at a society where the women of Kenya will feel safe, and not only women, we are talking about the men, because nobody has any right to kill somebody, because even men are dying. If it is the women who are violating the men's rights, let the law take its position. Just to say our conclusion, it is important. We are looking at a country where we have policies, and the policies will be enacted and will be followed. We have for example, we have the two-third gender rule. It's a policy that was enacted a long time ago, but up to now you can find that there are some departments that have not put the policy in place. So it is important not to overlook these things. So we want a society where the government can be able to follow up cases, the perpetrators to be jailed if it means being jailed, because now we can't continue living with people who are causing harm in the society. We want the ODPP and Chief Justice to take their role and protect Kenya, because that is one of their major function, is to rule the judgment. So we want them to do the judgment and let these people go to jail. Maybe this will transform the society, because they'll see now, if many people have gone to court because of femicide, why should I kill? And also the community, we are urging, and please, we just want to have that a little heart of humanity, because it is through God that we were created, and nobody was given charge over human life. So let us also just return back to our Christian life, and also the small part of humanity that belongs to the people. Please, 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 let us protect people in Kenya, protect the women, protect the children. We want to end violence.
Okay. Now, maybe Amisi, tell us about the work that is going to happen today. Malinaanzia na malinaishia na what are you looking forward to towards the end, before the end of the day?
Na tu kuona ya tisimiti ya ndio kwa abantu bakese eveni otwale kumbira na gari ofisi ya county commissioner isiko kegana flag oge kwende ya lero, and then tutale tuete daraja mashauri, tuende daraja moja tunchuke Gutika, tuje mpaka Ram na kitari tukile tuje judiciary gari tukwana na kwanda wa judiciary yake, tuje police tukwana na police yake, tutrumu Kizonik, tukuruzuni tuje mpaka na vote ya capital, awisu wetu utora wane konga manene ni kwana na abantu, so ku flyers yoko na kwa advice kaya na tukuna kwana mangana speaker, na tukuna walibana tukuna one walibana very affected, walibana survivors na walibana wote tukumanya manonga tutoko. Tukataka kupata ndani somo tandao yoka sio na ships walikuwa somo gana tukunya kwana ndio tukunya wakonje uimomo uso uimomo na ada kwa tomi society ndia na nanya sawa kuna watu bana tega bana musa somo so.
All right, thank you so much mwancho murigererio KCTV so kunyara gusanga na John kwamba karit kuria rero kurutwa chagite ko mina ibere chiamambi wekera bone gashtaika isane ibere cyabutukirigoro y'insisa to chiabona mambi me studio ni gona batabagani abwasto ganda to kwandre gori getaro yokore kana rit kuria rero so mucho busunga bwasaba kunyara kugikire gwito kwa basubati nabo kunyara weso kinayo be kunyara gusanga na barabwegere ujumbe yiga naye nabo kunyara ko yenyora gusekere uri uganete abega kunyara ko yenyora rit kuria rero yenyora nga oyega na barabe mamo mino na barabe musubati o mino na barabo mwana ugo na barabe no monto manyeto musani o monto angike gimange nae igotika twesoke so kunyara kugikire bikore bigebe abiri kunyara korkana egati y'abantu. You're sending out remarks. Lucy zitakuwa gani this morning?
I would love to tell everybody that is watching today that as we end 16 days of activism, let us have the heart of humanity. Let us embrace love. Let us embrace peace and alternative conflict resolutions. If we embrace those ones, we will not have the violence that is taking place in our community.
All right. Yeah. What is your sending out remark?
Wakira abantu abategera na bandi beretinga mbyamo soko nyali bari kutegisi kulero ati atwa kwa the society informed, society developed, society metano maende trani akakwa kubatakira chinga gichinya mo kwenda isuku chinga mocha ka January but munyo na January abana bana bari school ndo akesta atakole chibera chonsi school fees chebole ndo ukora conversation yonsi na logo tobwati se www.ipeckenya.org internet kwa conversation all through because there na mjamano mkula.
All right, thank you so much. So kunyara usanga thank you so much for coming this morning. Thank you so much. We are going, mimi nimetoka na wao tukienda tao, tafadhali please msinitafute, my phone will be flight mode. Hiyo ujumbe lazima kila mtu aipokee. Thank you to my producer director Clenox. Jehovah Rafa. Okay, by tomorrow nitakuwa nimezoea. Aso kunyara kwani kimno moligererio vile ya kunyara kwenye chibicha na Mario. Pole sana for the network imesumbua kidogo, but we are going to re-upload the interview so that mtaifuata kwa pages zetu. Of course you know them, YouTube, KCTV, Instagram, TikTok na X account na KCTV, Facebook, KCTV. Thank you. Simu ya studio nilisahau kuleta ndo nimesikia kilia sana. I'm sorry. Ela sijui kwa kachukua yes hivi nimesahau pale juu nimesikia na messages zikiingia. I'll go through them alafu nitawapatia response because of course mgeni akishakuja mara ya kwanza we always say welcome always again. So mkikuja next time hata mkiingia na viatu mtapigwa washawazoea. Karibu. Okay, bye bye, have a good day.
All right.